Hello again, it's time for another video, so let's just get into things. IDA 64, and this time around we're using the Techland D3D wrapper. And I will just go ahead and say right off the bat that there's not going to be really all that much that's very interesting. I thought I remembered that the D3D wrapper for Techland was a bit more functional, but I guess I misremembered because in pre-testing for this video, basically nothing works. So yeah, I think I might have remembered that maybe it's actually like the AT3D that worked well with the Techland Direct 3D wrapper. I really don't remember all that clearly right now. So yeah, here's our OpenGL report. It's pretty much just saying the same thing. Techland, Direct3D 1.1 Beta 6, same Direct3D support, or OpenGL support, because it's more or less the same code base as the S3D wrapper, it's just that wrapping to a different API. So there's probably just like some base framework that actually does the OpenGL implementation and just calls back to a second part of the wrapper that does the translation. Anyway, yeah, we're done with that. Let's move on to the other stuff. So we've got GLGears, and just to show, this is in fact the Techland wrapper. Does not say Direct3D. Oh, there it is, right there. OpenGL-like driver, so it's not even a full OpenGL implementation, I suppose, and I guess that's one reason why it tends to act kind of jank. Anyway, GLGears, once again, just like the S3D version, it does not render anything. Yep, so we got about 290 something FPS here. It's really nothing that matters much. And you can see already that the FPS drops a bit if I happen to do anything on screen. Yeah, right there. And I think that's because normally if it was rendering stuff, it tends to pause the rendering in the window, but still keep track of the frame rate. So, I don't know. ClassiCube. And once again, we've got the same file here. I know that's the right one because it's 196 kilobytes rather than the, I think, 194 of the S3D wrapper. All right, ClassiCube 1.3.5, single player. Okay. So yeah, ClassiCube is pretty much the only thing that's functional with this wrapper, and even then, its performance is not good. Very, very not good. But like you can see that it does work. Which, unlike the S3D wrapper, yeah. So if I turn the render distance down, performance does increase quite a bit, but we do also get some weird Z fighting in that it's trying to render some blocks that are far behind. So I think that was trying to render maybe some blocks that were buried under here. Either that or it's not. Okay, yeah, it's definitely just not properly pulling the back face. So these are not being rendered in the correct order, so there's some debuffering issues here. And so faces that are supposed to be rendered in back and then cold are instead being placed at the front and rendered over the foreground stuff. So if I switch back over to regular render distance, I'm gonna have to turn down that music, or else I could potentially, well, I mean, Minecraft tends to be kind of okay with it, but still, just to be safe, I'm turning down game music. Plus, it's also very loud anyway. interesting thing is that when I turn up the render distance, it ends up only being able to render half the screen. So you can see here, the upper half of the wall here is not being rendered at all anymore, and we only see the skybox. So there's some strange Z buffer issues depending on render distance when playing in ClassiCube. So let me close that. Now we've got 1.3.6, which if I remember correctly, just behaves the same way. Yep, just exactly the same. We've still got that Z buffer problem with the skybox overwriting everything else. We do occasionally have texture issues as well. So yeah, you can see right there in the distance over my crosshair. The grass textures are completely messed up and are just stretched out. But it is interesting that most of the transparent textures do appear to be at least partially working. So not glass in this case, but we do have working fog, for example. And you can see my hotbar is transparent as it should be as well. The flowers are not transparent. Let me go and look at some water. So even though there are a good number of graphical glitches, there is also still a good amount of functionality here that some other wrappers lack. Alright, so water does not appear to be transparent here. Alright, so I think it's mostly just fog and the hotbar that are correctly transparent. Anyway, if I close out of this real quick, and just as a point of comparison, I will just rename that. And now we're going to be doing this all in software rendering. Right away, you can see this is software rendering. The performance is absolutely horrendous on this 700 megahertz Pentium 3. So the S3 Verge through the wrapper is actually somewhat accelerating things right now. Granted, the minimal amount of acceleration that provides is pretty broken. And you can already see here that using the software OpenGL renderer, it does at the very least fully support everything. So we've got transparent textures, fog is completely working rather than mostly working. And yeah, it just works better, to be simple and short with it. But at the cost of performance, because this game is no longer hardware accelerated. So yeah, the Verge can do some hardware acceleration. You just need a good CPU with it. It likes fast CPUs, and especially if you're trying to do stuff with OpenGL, then you're going to want at least, I'd say, maybe 600 megahertz, if not faster, so that then it can do all that API translation and such. Okay, Minecraft time. You can see all these error logs here from the crashes. Once again, we've got the OpenGL file already there, and we'll open up our batch launcher. Yep, it is done loading. The mouse has been captured. So, yeah, it does not render anything. It just renders a black screen in regular Minecraft. So the game is running. It has not crashed. It's just that you cannot see a thing being rendered. And that's just something with the wrapper itself, not the game. Tux Racer time! Tux Racer. So, just like the S3D wrapper, it kind of worked, but it is far from playable. But at the very least, this time around, there's a little bit more that's actually being rendered. So you can see the terrain now for once. Obstacles and just about everything else is being rendered as just a white box, so it's very easy to get lost in the white skybox. But you can actually play the game now, and just for this video, I will actually try and finish this round. I'm not quite sure where I'm supposed to be going because the left side of the screen is completely white thanks to the shading. But at the very least, there is enough shading to determine what's what. Okay, we made it to the end of the round. Or the end of the course, I guess. So, yeah, Tux Racer barely works. It is technically playable, but only if you like to suffer. Okay, Half-Life. And for all of these games, I preload the wrappers into their executable folders as well, so I don't have to really bother with switching them out on the fly mid-video. Okay, that's going to need a seizure warning. So let's just go ahead and try the training room. Yeah, I think I forgot to test Half-Life in pre-testing. I don't remember seeing this happen with the Techland S8 or the Techland directory. Whatever, it crashed. Okay, so that apparently didn't work. Okay, properties, settings, back up to 800 by 600. Okay, click OK again, and we do GLXS. Let's clear all the results and run benchmark. So once again, just like the S3D, we do not crash upon launch. Whether or not that's a good or bad sign, who knows? But I will say that just from the looks of it, this is going to be loading that same texture over and over again for just about everything in the benchmark. Yeah, I think I might have skipped both Half-Life and GLXS in pre-testing because I don't know. Well, we'll see. Hey, it's actually rendering stuff. I've actually got stuff. Okay, I'll leave this alone and just let it run for a bit. And it doesn't appear that... Yeah, I don't think that there's any background music for this, so I guess maybe I'll throw something up in editing or something. I don't know. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video, because this is pretty much over once this is done running. Oh, we got some colors! Okay, maybe I will commentate on this. This is behaving just a little bit differently from the AT3D run when I ran GLXS in that benchmark, it was even more broken than this, but did run. So, looks like we've got proper ripple effects and color support, so that's quite interesting. It's just that, as mentioned, everything is using the exact same metal ball sort of texture. And you can see our frame rate counter bar at the bottom there as well. It's just that the text and the bar are both just that same ball. Okay, so this is so far the most interesting run of GLXS that I've seen in a long time. I was going to say that this video was probably going to be boring, but I guess I completely forgot to once again run Half-Life and GLXS, and there was some interesting stuff happening there. And come to think of it, I think I might only test the ClassiCube in Minecraft. Oh well. Wow, look at that fading effect. And if you see some kind of blue fuzzy stripes coming in from the right side of the screen, that's just the VGA scaler that I'm using. It does not appear to like higher resolution, so it might possibly need a recapping or something. I'm not entirely sure, but the signal that it puts out is far from the cleanest. Yeah, we've got color, we've got particles. The S3 Verge is suffering through all those, but it's working. Right, yeah, I'll just link the video too. You watch. But there we go. We actually finished the benchmark for once. So we can see here that scene 3, whatever that was a very, very good performer. 40 FPS on average, with a maximum of 67 and a minimum of 12. I do not remember off the top of my head what that's supposed to look like, but whatever it was, it rendered pretty decently on the Verge if we were able to actually see it for what it was rather than just, metal balls being stretched and stuff. But yeah, we actually finished the benchmark once again. So I would say that's a partial success, and so far that means that despite my doubts about this wrapper, outside of Minecraft, which it does not render anything for, this is actually probably one of the more successful OpenGL 2 Direct 3D wrappers that I've tested so far. I know for sure that it pretty much beats out anything relating to GL Direct. So, yeah. Also, we got a little bit of visual corruption here. Look at that. That's not supposed to happen. There we go. Okay, let's just adjust that back to what it was. So, yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I don't know, maybe you learned a thing or two. Bye.